So, at the beginning of the film, a devastated world is shown, and it is explained that the destruction of this world was caused by a massive meteor that collided with the earth, burning everything to ashes. Now only a small town and a few survivors remain on the land. All these people are followers of a church where the priest is the patriarch. The rules here are extremely strict and everyone is required to follow them no matter what. In this same town there is also a witch named Grey. She fulfills everyone's wishes. Because of this, the people of the church have started to worry that people might run away from them and join Grey to form a new community. That's why the patriarch orders the enforcer to hang Grey. The enforcer hangs Grey in front of all the people here. She pulls the spot out from under Grey's feet, and as soon as the enforcer leaves, Grey reveals her magic. She hypnotizes one of the enforcer's own guards. She shows him an illusion, making him believe that he is the one being hanged, and to save himself, he shoots at his own rope. But in reality, the shot hits Grey's rope and Grey is freed from the noose. After that, she shows Grey another illusion in which Grey sees her approaching him. Grey fires his gun to kill her, or so it appears. But in reality, he ends up shooting his own comrade. Hearing all the commotion, the enforcer comes back and the first thing she does is kill the soldier who was under Grey's possession. After that, they searched everywhere for Grey, but they couldn't find her anywhere. She was actually hiding right there. But she made it appear to everyone that Grey wasn't there, and then, staying hidden, she killed all of the enforcer's soldiers one by one. When she held a knife to the enforcer's throat, the enforcer said, "Kill me," but Grey didn't kill him. Instead, she left him hanging and walked away from there. Now the scene cuts and we are shown the boys. As he was passing near a tunnel, suddenly a lot of bandits attacked him. One of the bandits tries to take his gun off his horse, but suddenly a two-headed snake attacks that bandit and bites him. After this, the boy deals with the remaining bandits. He kills some of them by fighting with his skills and shoots others with his gun. And after managing everything like this, we realize that the boy was not an ordinary person. He was a bounty hunter and he was extremely skilled at his job. We are then shown Grey again, who is visited by the queen of this place and her trusted man. In fact, the queen wanted Grey to bring her the power of a shapeshifter. Grey demands a hefty price from the queen and says that she will do her job by the upcoming full moon, which was only 6 days away. Both of them leave, and a little while later, the queen's trusted man comes back and tells Grey not to do the queen's task because he feels that what the queen is trying to do is not right. It was surprising that Grey was his. She agreed to this as well. Although Grey did not want to grant this man's wish because she was under a debt, a curse that prevented her from refusing anyone's wish, she ended up granting this man's wish too. Now, the twist in the story is how Grey will manage these two opposite wishes. She now begins searching for the shapeshifter throughout the lost land using her powers as she has to kill it. In her vision, she sees that many people had come to hunt the shapeshifter, but all of them ended up becoming its prey instead. After killing all of them, the shapeshifter let out a loud roar, and at that moment, Grey's magic broke out of fear. The scene is awesome. We are shown the queen, who was with the king at this time. For the first time, we see the king, who is extremely ill and bedridden. Grey has come to meet Boyce because Boyce was the best hunter here, and Grey needed someone like him to complete her mission. She offers him a good amount of money in exchange for killing the shapeshifter. Grey herself also wants to go to the lost land with Boyce, where the shapeshifter's lair is. In fact, only there can the shapeshifter be killed and its power be contained. Nowhere else. Boyce warns Grey in advance that this journey could be very long and they might face many dangers along the way. These dangers include various kinds of demons and treacherous broken paths. Grey was ready to overcome every kind of difficulty. The church people who are still after Grey attack the bar while searching for her, and before they can catch her, the two of them escape from the church. We see that the patriarch had received inside information that the queen had also secretly gone to meet Grey. This made the patriarch anxious. He began to suspect that perhaps the queen was also conspiring against the church together with Grey. Before anything like that could happen, he orders the enforcer to capture Grey. Now the enforcer, along with her soldiers, sets out in pursuit of Grey and Voice, who have reached a particular city. There, Grey and Voice stay at the home of Voice's friends. Through their conversations here, we learn about Voice's past and how he became such a skilled hunter. In his childhood, right before his eyes, his mom and dad were killed inside the Lost Land. After that, fighting demons and hunters for his survival, he eventually reached the city where humans now live. Anyway, the next day, they continue their journey and arrive at a building-like place from where they have to cross ahead using a cable bus. But when they get to the top, they come face to face with the enforcer and his soldiers. A fight breaks out among all of them. Boyce was already a very skilled hunter and fighter, and Grey was using her magical powers to fight. She would hypnotize everyone and then attack them, while on the other hand, Boyce was swiftly taking down enemies, shooting some with his gun and stabbing others with his knife. And just when they think that time's up has arrived, so both of them quickly jump onto the top of the bus. But many soldiers had already come here after them. To fight them, Grey climbs on top of the bus and fights with many soldiers, defeating them, while inside the bus, the boys are fighting with these people. Seeing that they still can't catch the two, the enforcer orders his soldiers to cut the cable of the bus. As soon as the cable was cut, the bus lost its balance and fell down, but it was still hanging onto a rock. Grey tries to climb to the top of the bus using his knife for support, while Boyce was attempting to climb up the slippery rock. But just then, the second cable was also cut from behind and they lost all support. However, by using their knives, both of them finally managed to climb up onto the rock. Seeing this, the enforcer took out his sniper rifle to shoot Grey. But through the sniper's lens, Grey hypnotized the enforcer once again. He felt as if both of them had left from there, and in this way, the two managed to escape being pursued by them. During the entire fight, Boyce had been shot once, which was causing him a lot of pain. Boyce removes the bullet from his body himself, and Grey stitches up his wounds. We are shown the Queen, who has found out that she is pregnant. The Queen had finally gotten an heir. Now she no longer needed to tolerate the king. The Queen's attitude towards the king is also far from pleasant. She even wants to separate from the king, but if she does, she will lose the power she holds as queen. So she immediately kills the king herself and lies to everyone, saying that he died because of his illness. They now arrive in a city where a large number of demons start chasing them. These strange-looking creatures resembled humans, but they looked extremely terrifying. Before they could attack Grey, the boy spreads oil all around them and sets it on fire because he knew these creatures' weakness. They were afraid of fire, but these demons were far more terrifying than they had imagined. The demons emerged from underground, extinguished the fire, and started moving closer to them. The boy began killing the demons that came near, and seeing two humans survive against so many demons surprised the demons' leader, who then appeared before them. As soon as Grey saw him, she cast her magic. She hypnotized him and made him order all these creatures to stay away from them. Then, seizing the opportunity, she conjures fire from her hands, and all these demon creatures are incinerated here, finally freeing them from pursuit. Later on, the boy asks her, "I didn't even feel the heat of the fire. How did you light that fire?" Then Grey told him the truth, that in reality, she hadn't lit any fire there. She had just shown all these demons an illusion. So, the demons died because of their own thoughts and their fear of fire. Now, the next city was Lost Land. Just a short distance away, the boy stops her again this time and says, "Think carefully, going further is extremely dangerous. You could lose your life as well." While they were talking and crossing the bridge, they saw that the enforcer was coming after them with a huge army. The bridge was right in front of them. There was no other way. How could they escape? Just then, Grey gets another idea. They start running quickly across the bridge, and the enforcer also increases the train's speed, planning to crush Grey. But at one point, the enforcer realizes that the bridge is actually broken. Their speed was so high that they couldn't even brake, and when they reached the end of the bridge, Grey jumped off. There, the boys hanging below caught him and saved his life. But the enforcer and all his companions were killed here. When the patriarch learns that all his companions have been killed, he starts to feel afraid. He starts to fear that all those people he has enslaved in the name of religion might join forces with Queen Grey, and that his power could be taken away from him. That's why he tries to make it appear to everyone that Queen Grey wants to destroy this place by joining forces with him. As soon as the queen learns about this, she decides to persuade her trusted man to do her bidding. By drawing him close and making him fall for her, she uses him to have the patriarch and all his followers killed. That place, that cave, was right here, where the shapeshifter used to live. In just a little while, it was going to be a full moon. Grey noticed that there were a lot of human skulls placed there. The boys explained that all these were the skulls of people who had come to hunt a shapeshifter. They said, "You still have time to reconsider." But Grey doesn't listen and starts putting on large sharp silver claws. After putting them on, she reveals a big secret to the boys and says, "What did you think?" "I don't know. I know that you are the shapeshifter. I found out about this through my magic. And I hired you for this job because you live here.
so only you could get me here safely. And the reason for bringing you here was that to take your power, it was necessary to kill you in your own place, in your own den. As soon as the full moon rises, Boyce also begins to transform into a shapeshifter, that is, a wolf, right in front of her. In this wolf form, Boyce's strength increases many times over, and even though he doesn't want to, he attacks Grey. Grey also got up ready to fight. Using her magic, she hypnotizes Boyce and makes it appear as if a flock of birds is coming towards her. To drive away these birds, he starts waving his hands around, and just then, a huge bird swoops down to attack him. As Boyce tries to back away to avoid it, Grey takes advantage of his weakness and his confused mind. Grey attacks him with his silver claws. At that moment, the moon also hides behind the clouds, and the boy's body returns to its human form. Because of Grey's attack, he was unconscious for the time being. When he regained consciousness, he found himself bound in chains. He was feeling weak. It turned out that the real weakness of shapeshifters is silver, and Grey had played a very clever game to weaken him. When he stitched up his body, he slipped a silver coin inside, which was now reacting in his body and making him weak. Now she apologizes to Boyce and says that what I'm about to do, I don't really want to do, but I'm forced because of my debt. She was just about to take his life. But just then Boyce said, I have a wish too. Boyce wishes that she stays with him, because he had now fallen in love with Grey. Hearing this, tears welled up in Grey's eyes, and she said that every wish comes with a heavy price. Boyce was ready to pay that price too. But Grey was already deeply trapped. She could either fulfill the Queen's wish, the Queen's special man's wish, or Boyce's wish. As soon as the full moon emerges from behind the clouds again, Boyce transforms into a shapeshifter, and Grey, in a frenzy, stabs her dagger into his body, killing him. After that, the scene cuts, and we are shown the next morning. In Grey's hand, we see the wolf pelt of Boyce. When Grey returns, she sees that all the people here are extremely happy because they were fed up with the rule of the church, and for them, Grey was their only ray of hope. As soon as Grey arrives, they start their protest and all of them become rebels, attacking the church and even toppling the church's cross. Grey then goes straight to the Queen's trusted man, gives him Boyce's pelt, and says that the Queen must pour her blood on it, only then will its power transfer to the Queen. Holding the pelt, the man says, I had asked you for a wish that you shouldn't grant the Queen's wish. So here Grey reveals the twist to him. The Queen actually wanted to become a shapeshifter to possess Boyce, but she didn't know that there can only be one shapeshifter. To turn the Queen into a shapeshifter, I had to take Boyce's life, and the purpose of your wish was for you to get the Queen. Now that Boyce is dead, the Queen is yours. When the Queen learns the truth that Boyce has died, she is completely devastated. She remembered the moment when Boyce had told her that she was not like him. He said, I want to marry someone like myself. It was then that the Queen decided to become a shapeshifter, but she didn't know that by making this decision she would end up losing Boyce himself. She spent the whole night in this sorrow. She didn't complete her ritual until the full moon, and as soon as the morning sunlight fell on the shapeshifter's skin, it burned like fire and turned to ashes. Now, in her anger, the Queen kills her trusted man, that is, Zadus, who was with the Queen at that time, had come close. But when she went outside, she realized that in her emotions, she had made a huge mistake. She had killed Jefferson, whose army allowed her to fight against the outsiders who had rebelled. The scene cuts. We are shown Boyce, who regained consciousness as soon as morning arrived. When he died, he was a shapeshifter. His life force was in his skin. Because the Queen didn't use his skin, his life force returned to Boyce and he came back to life. Angrily, Boyce goes to Grey and holds a knife to his neck. He questions him, asking, why did you kill me after all? Even though I wished for you to stay with me. Grey tells him the truth, saying that she had already seen the future. She says she knew that the Queen wanted to become a shapeshifter just to stay with him, even though the Queen's special man also desires her. I saw in the future that, grieving your death, the Queen would kill her special man and would not wear your skin, which would allow your life to return to your body. In this way, the wishes of the Queen, her special man, and you all three would be fulfilled. Boyce was extremely surprised and also happy to learn this, because now Greythorn he loved was going to be with him. The two of them set off together on their next mission. And with this, the movie comes to an end.